And welcome in, everybody. We are live and we have more Revolution Pro Football coming your way. And it is officially time for the postseason. We have finished off week 5 of the last season. We played the final 7 games of week 5, all thanks to our secret investor, who is no longer a secret investor anymore. If you guys tuned in and joined along with us on our Patreon exclusive stream, we seeded all 10 playoff teams 1 through 10, and we also revealed who the secret investor is. So we're not going to give you the entire playoff tree right now as we're speaking. If you want to check that out, you can check out the Patreon exclusive stream up on Patreon right now, patreon.com/TBSports27. We are going to kind of go into what game you're going to meet tonight, and you're kind of looking at it right now. This is going to be the wild card. So we have 2 wild card rounds. Zach Green is here. Welcome, Zach. Glad to have you aboard. For time of day, put a little afternoon. We haven't had any bad weather games yet. Maybe not for the first one. We'll have to throw some weather because they got some cool weather this game. But basically, yeah, 10 teams qualified for the last season Revolution Pro Football postseason. 6 teams did not make it. Salt Lake City, Omaha, Windy City, Tampa Bay, St. Louis, and San Antonio did not make the postseason, finished with losing records. Brian is here, as always. Welcome, Brian. If you want to know the fate of those teams, I went over most of those as they got eliminated in the past 7 episodes. You can also check us out on Patreon because I went into that a little bit as well on there. But those teams are going to live on in the RXFL, which we will continue to jump back into after we complete the postseason. But it's a 10-team postseason. That means we're going to have, at least 9 games, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 9 playoff games. So we're going to have 2 wild card games. And you're going to see the first game right here tonight. It is going to be the 10th seeded Huntington Beach Killer Whales, who are going to have to be road warriors. They are going to take on the Oklahoma City Bandits. You saw both of these teams come up short in their week 5 performance. For Huntington Beach, finished with the 10th seed, a 3-2 finish, which is the same record as every team seed 3 through 10. But they ended up as the 10 seed because they had 2 bad blowout losses. In fact, with the point differential, they're the only team to finish in the negatives. They finished in the negative points. If you want to see what the point differential was, if you want to see how we got the seedings, if you want to see the brackets, you can check that out right now. Patreon.com/TBSports27 for as little as $5. That's a gallon of gas these days. For as little as $5, you can get that Patreon exclusive stream and see all the seedings. So we have 8 teams that got a first round bye, or I should say, not 8 teams, 6 teams that got a first round bye, seeds 1 through 6, and there are going to be 2 wild card games, 7 seed versus the 10, which we're about to see right now. And then next time, we're going to see Birmingham and Columbus in the nightcap as the 8 versus 9. The winner of those 2 games are going to go on to take on our top seeded teams, which is going to be Atlantic City and Portland. They both finished 4-1. So although 6 teams ended up getting a first round bye, the advantage that Atlantic City and Portland are going to have by finishing 4-1 and by finishing with 2 of the best records in the league is they get to not only have home field advantage throughout the playoffs, but they are going to take on one of these 4 teams that already had to play an extra game. So they're going to get a team that had to play an additional game. They're going to get a gassed team in the Elite 8 round. So if Huntington Beach wins this game as the 10th seed, they will travel to Atlantic City, who is the 1 seed. If Oklahoma City wins this game, then they would, I would believe they would be locked in to play Portland. And then whoever wins Columbus and Birmingham, whoever wins Columbus and Birmingham would then go on to take on Atlantic City. So Huntington Beach wins, they play Atlantic City. If Oklahoma City wins, they would take on Portland, and Columbus and Birmingham winner would take on Atlantic City. If Huntington Beach wins, then the Columbus and Birmingham winner would go on to take on Portland in the next round. So with all that out of the way, again, if you want all the more detail, that is up right now, a Patreon exclusive stream that we did on Patreon, patreon.com/tvsports27. And now it is time for the postseason. The Oklahoma City Bandits, they made it to the postseason last year. They made it not only to the postseason, they made it all the way to the championship game. They came up just short against the Ann Arbor Annihilators, but that was their first time going to the playoffs, and they went just about the distance. They went into overtime against Ann Arbor, eventually falling just short. The Huntington Beach Killer Whales, two-time league champions, the champions in Season 2 and the champions also in Season 3 as well. So, you know what? I just realized I didn't even plug in. I don't know how the quality's looking. I didn't plug my Ethernet cable in. So let me do that right now for you guys. Oh my God. Let me find that. Hold on. Boy, gotta grab that. We're doing this on the fly. We're doing it live. Grabbing. Oh my God, the Ethernet's all wrapped up amongst everything. All right. We'll be doing the coin toss in just a moment. Let's see. I'm plugging this in. Look at this. This is live as live can be. Oh man, boy, it's a nightmare to try to plug this thing into the laptop. There we go. We are now Ethernet powered. So hopefully that will improve the streaming quality for you all, as we have just Etherneted up. There you go. You can see a little different look. Huntington Beach for this playoff game going with the all-white uniforms. They typically wear the electric blue. I tried to model the electric blue after the Florida Tuskers. That was a favorite uniform. I've never quite seen that blue replicated. That was a former uniform look of mine. And Oklahoma City is going to come out with the black helmets. And that's one thing I am going to miss if we transition to Madden is we're not going to be able to go in and make these modifications from game to game. That is something I love doing in the past, is putting the different unique combinations out there. But here we go. Playoff time underway in Oklahoma City. 10th seeded Huntington Beach, 7th seeded Oklahoma City. The Bandits trying to go to the league championship game back-to-back years. Huntington Beach trying to get to their 3rd league championship game in 4 seasons, and they're trying to win a 3rd title. Huntington Beach in Season 2, Season 3 champs, Salt Lake City champions of Season 1. They missed the postseason for the 3rd consecutive year. And off to Barry Sanders right up the gut. And he's going to get 7 yards on the carry. Last year's champion, of course, we mentioned Ann Arbor. And to play it one more time, if you would like to see all the past champions, all the stats, all the scores, if you want to see a little preview of what that looks like, check out episode 1, either episode 1 or episode 2 in the archives of All Pro Revolution Pro Football. And we went over what that looks like and all of that information up on Patreon, patreon.com/tvsports. So now it is time. This is one of 2 wild card rounds that we're going to play. The other 6 teams, seeds 1 through 6, receiving a first round bye with seeds 1 and 2. The only 2 teams that finish the season at 4 and 1 will get to meet the 2 wild card teams in the next round at their home stadium, that being Portland and Atlantic City. So first down picked up there for the Killer Whales, as they've never been the strongest regular season team in the world, but Huntington Beach always tends to be a strong postseason team. And we'll see if this postseason is no different. The one time they struggled would be in Season 1. They had a 30-point lead against the Salt Lake City Fury, and they gave up 40 points in the 4th quarter to end up losing that game. They would have gone on to win the next 2 league championship games, and then in Season 4, of course, falling just short. I don't know what the score was in Season 4, but I remember it being pretty close. And this is kind of the pace that Huntington Beach, in their many years, has taken. And you guys have to help me on deciding the future of Huntington Beach. Obviously, there's not going to be a Huntington Beach team in the RXFL, but there's plenty of California teams. We got the San Francisco Demons. We got the San Diego Aftershock. We got the LA Kiss. Oh, man, Sanders going to be stopped just short. Just inches short. Ray Lewis is injured. Oh, my goodness. That would be a tough blow for the Oklahoma City Bandits. Obviously, we know Oklahoma City is going to live on as the Lancers, and they're going to be having one of the better records in the RXFL. And look at this. The Killer Whales are going to go for it. I know Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley, they've had their eyes on Huntington Beach. Maybe want to bring them to L.A. First down, Sanders. Barry Sanders, Warren Moon, they've been a staple of this squad going back to our franchise mode days. You can see some of those episodes up on Patreon right now. But also as part of this league. Very successful team, this Killer Whales team, but lost a lot of their heavy hitters in the draft. Boy, Warren Moon, I think Warren Moon wanted to throw, but his receiver ran out of bounds. That would have been an illegal touch. So Warren Moon just had to tuck it and run. He picked up 5, though. So nicely done there. Wes Welker, one of the new signees to Huntington Beach. Dwight Clark and Andre Reed, part of this squad that got drafted away. And continuing to run the ball with Barry Sanders. They're down and 3 for the Killer Whales, and what's been a nice 4-minute drive to open up this game in the all-white unis here. A rare look. We also know they have the green uniforms. We all seen them wearing black in the past, too. First down, Huntington Beach. We've also seen, as we talked about the history, the Oklahoma City Bandits, black and blue, their original colors. And they started wearing black and white in season 3. Black, white, and a hint of gold in season 3, almost like a UCF look. That's when the Rhinos came around. And black and blue started being worn by them. Which now they're going to take over the gold and purple of Salt Lake City. The St. Louis Rhinos will live on in the RXFL. As the St. Louis Rhinos with the old Brett Favre era Viking uniforms, kind of looking like rhino horns. And then in season 4, they brought more black and gold, less white, and they added the green color scheme. That's when the green, black, and gold kind of looking like the Berlin Thunder. Zach's about to play 2K22. Nice. Stay tuned this weekend. You guys might see some 2K this weekend. We're getting closer to Extreme Rules. We got a big card. We know Trish and Beth Phoenix got to be on the card. I think Slapjack and Edge might be doing something on the show. I'm thinking about my Raw card quite a bit, so stay tuned for that. The Bandits also unique color schemes. Sometimes they'll wear the all black. Sometimes they'll wear gold helmets. They got the white as well. They wear a lot of gray as well. And the Revolution Bowl 4, I believe they wore gray unis with gray helmets. For the first time look for them. Incomplete. Bit of a dangerous throw there by Warren Moon. And again, this drive encapsulated almost the entire third quarter. For Huntington Beach, they'd love to come away with a 7, not a 3. Moon steps up. Incomplete. Looking for Wes Welker. So they buckle down, and Al Del Greco will try to put the Killer Whales on the scoreboard here in our first wild card game. This is it. Win and go home. No more regular season. You get the win, you move on. If the Killer Whales win, they will advance to take on the top-seeded Atlantic City Eclipse. If Oklahoma City wins, they will take on the number 2-seeded Portland Ironmen in the next round. So it doesn't get any easier for these wild card teams. We've seen a lot of good kick returns in week 5 of the Revolution Pro League. I'm about to play my universe, says Zach Green. I love it. Maybe Zach Green would be a big Bandits fan, the green colors here.
1st and 10.
Emmitt Smith had a monstrous postseason last year, kind of put the team on his back and was able to take them to the championship game. So much so there was even the debate over in the draft if Emmitt Smith should be taken or if the Super Bowl leading quarterback John Elway should be taken. Ultimately, it was John Elway that was taken, left Emmitt Smith here. But it was an incredible postseason, and Emmitt Smith is picking up where he left off at in the last postseason, and we'll plug it again because it's the only place you can see him. If you want to see those stats and see how well he did, you can check that out on patreon.com/TBSports27. Because Emmitt Smith, he was a monster. And he had another big run there. And we'll see if they just keep pounding the rock, right? I mean, why the heck not? Oh, what a hit. That's a good way for your ACL to get blown out. Holy smokes. Emmitt Smith got hit hard.
Second and 6 from the Wales, 34-yard line.
Down. 6. Troy Aikman. Incomplete. Tossed into double coverage. Ball into the turf there. So 3rd down and 7. So going away from the run game on that last play and trying to throw some passes in there.
Let's go, D! That's what we stand for!
Empty set here this time, and Aikman, that time it's complete to Ben Coates. 1st down, and 2 drives about to take up the majority of this quarter right now. What a catch. I assume now back to, I would think back to Emmitt Smith at this point. Oh, it didn't go. Come on. The entire 1st quarter is going to end up being this game, huh? These 2 drives. Give it to Emmitt. Oh, trying to get a block. He got it. That is not Emmitt Smith, actually. That's a backup. We got a flag on the play. Great job, though, just biding his time, waiting for blocks. Like, call illegal touching or clipping or a late hit against Huntington Beach, so the touchdown will stand. So Emmitt Smith comes out and, man, just waiting for blocks to get set up. I believe that's Turner. Oh, yeah, the late hit right there, and that is Turner. What a bunch of nice drives, both sides of the ball. That was beautiful.
McGee will hold the kick.
The extra point in the first 9 minutes of this one. Shoot up. Oh, that was very close to being blocked. Kick is good, but that was a very tight window. They got to be a little faster. We've seen blocked extra points completely change the way games have been held in Week 5. I mean, it's completely turned them on their head. And now back to the Huntington Beach giveaway. It's going to be pretty cool. I mean, it's going to be a lot of, you'd have to imagine Barry Sanders and Emmitt Smith going back and forth, duking it out. Trying to find a photo on my phone from Revolution Bowl number 4 rather. I know I had it. post that for you guys. Give it to Sanders. Oh, Barry Sanders! Look at Sanders! I mean, he's gonna end up losing 2, but that was quite the impressive run just to break as many tackles as he broke. Barry Sanders, ladies and gentlemen. Holy smokes. That was something else.
Everybody ready?
But a much needed stop
Ace 50 tight end.
if you're on the side of the Bandits. Because now I would assume this would force them into a passing situation, if you will. Tipped up. Oh, incomplete. Looking for Isaac Bruce. Hey, here it is. I found my pictures now. Warren Moon dropping back, looking for anything, just stepped up. He got drilled as he let go of it, and it falls incomplete. Warren Moon under all kinds of duress. Yeah, there it is. Last year, Revolution Bowl, it was the gray unis with the black helmets and the black pants, so they're bringing the black helmets back. Maybe we'll see the black, gray, and black look coming up. Try to keep that luck going to get back to the championship, but as we said, it was all Ann Arbor in that one. 35-35 was the score at the half. Incredible. The Killer Whales punting this one away. This should do it for the first quarter, and it will. 3 drives eating up the entire quarter. A good one here in Oklahoma City. One of 2 wild card rounds. Of course, later on, not today, but later on in this physical day, the video game day, the nightcap is going to be Birmingham Maulers and the Columbus Crusaders.
First and 10 from your Bandits, 43 yards.
Birmingham will try to make one of their last efforts. Obviously, the future of them is quite in doubt as there's no Birmingham team in Madden. So where they end up, pretty big question mark. We kind of know the fate of Gainesville as well. They're kind of still going to be around, even though, again, there's not a Gainesville team in Madden either, but Gainesville will be represented, obviously, by the North Florida area.
Second and 5. Ball at the 48 yards.
Guys kind of already know they're struggling a little bit, too. They've yet to win a game. Second down and 6. The give to Evan Smith, and he continues to. Zach is playing every WWE game. Stay tuned. You know, one of my favorite YouTubers, 616. It's actually 616 Day. So he just uploaded the God of War, which I'm gonna watch. But he's supposed to be doing a SmackDown versus Raw story mode. So check that out. Another huge run by Emmett Smith. I gotta see, what did the runtime of that God of War end up being? 41 minutes. Holy smoke. Everyone's doing AI generated images thing.
Gun, split spread, weak draw, break.
First and 10 from the Wales, 35 yards.
Very creepy. I've been seeing a lot of people like posting about it. Oh, see, I was too busy looking at God of War. I got to delay a game, so that one's on me. That's on me. Delay a game. I'll take the heat for that. I was looking at how long God of War was. Yeah, I know. Boo. Boo us all. Maybe that'll help me get back into God of War. I haven't touched that in a while, but maybe that'll encourage me to jump back in it. I left off, if you guys And then followed by playthrough is Emmitt Smith. Emmitt Smith just waits for the postseason to break loose, doesn't he? We know that his future is going to be in London as part of the London Bulldogs. Well documented, a team that a lot of people predicted to kind of run the table and win the inaugural RXFL championship. And they have kind of struggled out of the gate. A stacked roster of Peyton Manning and Roddy White, just all these top receivers, and Emmitt Smith and everything, and they just have not, from day one, really blew the big lead to the Monarchs. Holding going to be called against Oklahoma City. So that's going to halt progress a little bit for the Bandits here.
2nd and 10 from Wales, 36-yarder.
Huntington Beach trying to find a stop. Smith just dumps it off to his cousin. Or Emmitt Smith's cousin. It was Troy Aikman passing. But always about 4-down range here. We had some rough weather last night. Lightning struck my work building. Oh, overshot. That would have been a tackle for loss. Ultimately, he didn't get the first down. But if you take it back, you see the defender for Huntington Beach could have had a tackle for a loss, but he overshot it. Now the field goal attempt here for the Bandits. And it's going to be no good. He's going to shank it, looking like a USFL kicker out there. Wide to the left. He knows it too. So, failed opportunity, points being left out on the field. We saw Huntington Beach drive and had to settle for a field goal. They left 4 points out there. And now 3 points being left out there by the Oklahoma City Bandits. This is the postseason, the wild card round, game 1. Wild card round, game 2, Birmingham and Columbus. Tipped up and incomplete right in front of Barry Sanders. Good job by the Bandit defense.
2nd and 10.
Big Impact Wrestling tonight. I'm actually going to try to watch it tonight. Normally I try to wait and watch Impact over the weekend. But I happen to see on Facebook today, Aces and Eights are making their return. I couldn't believe that. I literally had to do a double take when I saw that. Because I thought that they were like promoting an Impact Plus replay. And I had to go, I'm like, what? No, it's Honor No More against Aces and Eights coming up on Impact tonight. So I'm going to be checking that out later. I know the show starts at 8, but I got the DVR running. And I will be checking that out. So 3 and out, a punt here for the Killer Whales. Actually the second punt of this game for Huntington Beach. Good defense showing a long opening drive, but it wasn't anything that wasn't earned. It wasn't an easy trip for either team to get points on the board. We saw down the stretch in week 5 of the lost season. But there was a lot of points to be had. Not much defense out there. This game, very different. It's kind of interesting because Huntington Beach, they actually had a lot of defense in their week 5 game as well that we showed you that kicked off the return of the lost season thanks to our investor, who now we know who it is. I don't know if I should say it or let it be a secret, but if you watched our Patreon exclusive, you know who the investor is. Big business. Throwing his money out there. The legendary. I'll give you the initials. The legendary PS. All right? So check it out. Maybe we'll reveal it on the championship game, who the investor is. You guys aren't able to check out the Patreon exclusive stream where we did the seedings. 3rd and inches. And they've been just pounding the rock with Emmitt Smith. And boy, you can't get much more open than that. Emmitt, though, need to turn on the jets, and that would have been a touchdown. But the playoff accolades, Emmitt Smith continuing right now. They went outside. Plenty of room. And right there, if he could have just turned on the speed, I think they would have been in big business here.
No more easy run.
course, this defense, they lost Refrigerator Perry and Leon Lett, but they still got young blood. They still got Brian Bosworth, who have been staples of this team for a long time. How about the flea flicker? Incomplete. Trying to lull him into a false sense of security with the multiple running plays with Emmitt Smith, and then hit him with a pass, but it didn't work. And again, big opening, and Emmitt Smith is able to get the first down. 116 yards for Emmitt Smith so far. We're still in the first half. And that is exactly where he was in the postseason last season. I mean, he was rushing for 200, 300 yards a game. Go check out some of those numbers. Season 4 stat book. Patreon.com/TVSports27. Ben Coach, first down. Oklahoma City determined to make it back to the championship before they turn into the Lancers. Aikman. Touchdown! Ernest Givens. And it's a big lead for the Bandits. I mean, Aikman stepped up. Pretty solid coverage, too. The grab by Givens. Not a problem. It's good. It is a touchdown. And this is definitely Huntington Beach style. Usually not a big high-scoring team. You look at the history of some of their scores. They're pretty by the numbers, but, I mean, it's worked for them. They've won 2 championships. Well, we got a little under 3 to play. Huntington Beach will try to answer back. Can they do it? Can they do it? Much happening for Barry Sanders. There's Ken Norton in there. Oh, they're barking. They're barking right now. It's getting heated, folks. It is getting heated on the field.
2nd and 10. Ball at the 28-yard line.
This will be the final play of the quarter, and it will be with this run. And Sanders, he actually gets driven out of bounds, so I take that back. They're going to get one more play at it. 3rd down and 5. No, they actually do call it for 2-minute warning. I thought he went out of bounds, but they end up going ahead and winding the clock.
3rd and 5.
Can the Bandit defense hold? The 2-time league champions. And it's caught by Jenkins. Well covered. But Warren Moon delivered. Sanders has already run the ball 14 times. Not as well as Emmitt Smith, though. How often do you see that Barry Sanders has been outplayed by somebody? Warren Moon just steps up, and he completes it to Wes Welker. And Welker, gets tackled short of the end zone. What a play by the Killer Whales, and that's why this team has won 2 league championships, the only 2-time league champions. Oh my goodness, what a step up by Warren Moon.
1st and goal.
And the grab by Wes Welker. Now he's taking a much-deserved breather on the sideline. That was a thing of beauty. And Sanders to the outside. Touchdown, Huntington Beach, and it's a ball game. A rare end zone celebration. They did a really good job with certain players having animations. Like you see Walter Payton have his high step. They should have given Barry Sanders no animation for a touchdown. The animation should have been hand the ball to the referee, because that was his signature style. That would have been cool. It's kind of weird seeing Barry do a touchdown celebration there. Del Greco's kick is good. Still time, though. We know teams can score quickly. So with 3 timeouts and 52 seconds on the clock, plenty of time for the Bandits. Be able to give it to Emmitt Smith for a play or two. He'll call a timeout, but kind of see what he could do with it, right? There's Troy Aikman reuniting here the first 2 years together, and then Aikman signed with the St. Louis Rhinos. And there he goes. Just like we said, Emmitt Smith is going to have the speed, and Emmitt Smith is gone. He is a playoff machine, ladies and gentlemen. He did this a year ago in the postseason. He's doing it again in season 5. Emmitt Smith waits to the postseason and turns it on. What an effort. What a player. Emmitt Smith. Extra point is good. Bandits increase the lead, 21-10. Over Huntington Beach. Ryan says, did you see NXT UK Trent Seven? I don't have the time, unfortunately. I've mentioned before, I'd love to watch NXT UK. I would love to watch Level Up. I would love to watch New Japan Strong. I just, unfortunately, not enough time. I barely have time to watch Impact and MLW, which is tonight. But I did see on Twitter, I did see people posting about it. Yes, the big turn. Mustache Mountain is Dunyan Rings. Trent Seven, the big turn on are they wrestling in front of crowds again in NXT UK, or is that still without the people? Look at this. Wide open. Down the field is Bruce. And the timeout is called. Isaac Bruce. So all of a sudden, the scoring coming. It was at a premium. At the beginning now, it's on sale. Scoring like crazy. Warren Moon making some big plays. And here we go again. Oh, Welker can't hang on to it. He got hit hard. 17 seconds, 2 timeouts for the Killer Whales. I would think they're in Del Greco's field goal range to be a 37-yarder. They're going to play action, fake it here, and Moon, it's going to be incomplete. I think it's interesting, anytime you see tag teams go their separate way, which, that could happen to our Street Profits universe mode, as Angelo Dawkins continues to be heavily recruited by MVP and company. But yeah, it'll be interesting. I don't know what led up to this, because unfortunately, like I said, I don't have the time to keep up with. Oh, what a catch! Timeout. May have a chance for one more play here with the timeout. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what led up to that breakup of friendship. Like the wrong play. Incomplete. Got to go for the field goal at this point. Do you know, Brian, would you be able to fill us in about why that happened? Was there kind of dissension? Had they not gone with the titles for a long time? I think there's going to be some good matches. You're going to see some hard-hitting fisticuffs go down. You're going to see that. Well, points on the board, and we got a pretty good wild card game. So we got Portland and Atlantic City licking their chops, sitting at home waiting, knowing that you're going to see these two teams beat themselves up. And that was something that they got rewarded with by being the 1 seed and the 2 seed. By having those 4 wins, is they get to play the wild card team. Now, yes, there are 6 teams that got a first round bye, but 2 and 3, or I should say 3 and 4, and 5 and 6, they get to play a team fresh. Like, they get to play a team after a week of bye. Number 1 and number 2, Portland and Atlantic City, they get to play these wild card teams. So they get to play a team that beat each other up a week before, a team that's gassed, a team that had an extra game. So the other 4 teams, they get to play a fresh team. Number 1 and number 2 get to play a non-fresh team. So that's what you got there. All right, Bandits ball. Is there any stop for that man, Emmitt Smith, playing like a man possessed? Nice catch by Givens. So interesting coming out of the gate here, not giving the ball to Emmitt Smith, considering what he just did to close out quarter number 2. And it's a play fake. And Aikman connects with Givens. So far, not many answers for the Killer Whales defense on Oklahoma City. Bandits could easily have been a top-seeded team with a bye if they could have picked up the win over Birmingham. And give it back to Emmitt Smith, but you know, this has been a very up-and-down team. Like I said, the first 3 years, if you know the history of this league, through the first 3 years, did not make the postseason. Finally, last season, season 4, they were able to make the postseason. Season 3 started off 0-5, and then went 5-0. Finished the season 5-5, just missing the postseason. And of course, last season was the first time they got in, and they went all the way to the championship game with John Elway.
He picks up 1 on the play. Lewis with the tackle.
And they're driving here now. Well covered, but Herman Moore left just open enough. More on more. And it's another first down for the Bandits. I didn't realize how many USFL team names, too, I had as well as part of the OG8 with the Birmingham Maulers, of course, the Maulers and USFL, and the Bandits. I've always liked that Bandits name. That was an old dodgeball team as well. They had the Suns uniforms.
Let's all play heads up right here.
When will you turn to wrestling, says Brian? Maybe this weekend. Possibly this weekend. I'm not sure. It usually goes by how, it's... Oh, my goodness. Somehow that route got busted. That could have been a big-time pick 6, which would have turned this game on its head. Instead, it falls incomplete. Yeah, maybe this weekend, but no promises, because there's a lot I want to do, and like I said, it just depends on the day. Sometimes I wake up and it's like, yeah, I want to do some wrestling. Sometimes I watch so much wrestling, and then I don't want to play 2K. There's an easy touchdown, because I just want a little wrestling break. This weekend we got Slammiversary, so there's probably going to be a lot of wrestling happening as well this weekend. So we'll see, maybe this weekend, but I have not decided what we're going to go with. Oh, Lenny Moore. I believe I said Herman Moore earlier by mistake. But that was indeed Lenny Moore. All right, it's going to take a big-time effort for the Killer Whales if they want to get their 3rd championship, which would be the record. I mean, there's only been 2 teams, I should say 3 teams, that have been a 3-league championship. Salt Lake City, San Antonio, and Huntington Beach went to the first 3 championships. And of course, you had Oklahoma City and Ann Arbor last season. The only 3 teams of the OG8, Birmingham, Gainesville, course, Omaha, never been to the championship. But teams have only been there twice. 3 teams have been there twice, as we said. Salt Lake City, San Antonio, and Huntington Beach. They went to the first 3 twice. Salt Lake City went to the first 2. Well, this is kind of fitting, too, that you would see the runner-up of Season 1 and the winner of Season 2 meeting in Season 3. We kind of had something similar in the SFL League, our old league, where we had Memphis. The Memphis Kings win in Season 2. We had the San Antonio Dragons win Season 1. And then Season 3 was Memphis and San Antonio as the champions of the first 2 years going at it. Kind of interesting, and that's where San Antonio kind of marked their stamp as a dynasty, winning 2 of the first 3. And then they would end up going on to the Season 5 and Season 6 championship, losing both of those to the Miami Blaine and the Phoenix Vipers before failing to return to the championship again until this new league came around. So it's been interesting for the Dragons because they've been known for their championships. As we said, won 2 of the first 3. But they've won lost their last 4. So they're 2-4. They've gone 0 for 4 their last go-around. Meanwhile, while we're yapping about history.
First and 10.
We got a bunch of guys. Brian and Zach, you guys should tell each other what's going on in Universe. Both of those guys in WWE heaven. If you guys have any football fans out there, tell your friends, tell your people, join us for the football action here. Killer Whales and Bandits in a wild card showdown. We haven't seen any interceptions yet in this game, which is something we saw quite a bit in Week 5. 3rd and 11. The Killer Whales would like to not settle for another field goal here. Oh, man, and that was almost the interception. I just almost spoke into existence, the old announcer jinx. I was watching, I love watching old football games. I was watching the Buccaneers-Colts Monday Night Football game, the famous one where the Bucs had the 21-point lead. And Del Greco, they're going to say no good. That was close. Oh, man, they're going to say no good. Let's look at that again. This would be a good angle. Oh, it's so hard to tell. I don't think you can challenge a field goal, can you? No, you can't. Wow. That was a big miss. But anyway, it was the famous comeback. The Colts coming back 21 down in the 4th quarter to win that game in overtime. The leaping game, if you will. And there was a great announcer jinx in there where they were late in the 4th. And John Madden kind of mentioned how there hadn't been a sack yet. The Buccaneers had gone like 40 games plus with a sack. And the record might be broken. As soon as they said that, then Peyton Manning got sacked. Al Michaels and John Madden, man, that's the team. You can listen to them, man. Sometimes I go to bed and I'll throw an old wrestling show on, or I'll throw an old football game on. Pat Summerall or Al Michaels, man, that can and not in a bad way, like not saying like they're boring, but like their voice so easy to listen to. It can soothe you right into a good night's sleep. Caught by Givens, and if Huntington Beach doesn't start coming up with answers right now, the 10th seeded Killer Whales, and unfortunately for them, they might be correctly seeded at number 10. They finished with the same 3-2 record that 8 other teams did, but they got seeded as the worst seed due to their point differential. They're the only team to finish with negative points in the point differential, and that was due to some of their blowout losses. You're kind of seeing they took a big hit. You know, this isn't the Killer Whales team. You still got Warren Moon, you still got Barry Sanders, but they lost some of those pieces, not only wide receiver wise, as they lost Andre Reed and Dwight Clark, but they also lost Leon Lett, they lost Refrigerator Perry, who were part of those championship teams. the Bandits are just rocking and rolling. Who's part of the Gulag school? Matt Riddle, like catch point. Straight up the gut for Emmitt Smith. At least they've somewhat slowed him down a bit. But now the challenge is going to be to figure out Emmitt Smith, or Troy Aikman. And Troy Aikman, as we know, is going to move on to the Houston Voyagers, an expansion team in the RXFL. Surprising for some fans, he's going to end up hitting the bench for Boomer Esiason. He's not part of this league. So continuing to struggle to stop the ball at all, running, passing, is the Killer Whales. And we could be seeing them come to an end. Obviously, we know that the Killer Whales are going to die when they end up leaving. But what team are they going to turn into? Which California team are the Killer Whales going to turn into? We have the LA Kiss, as we mentioned. The San Francisco Demons. We have the San Diego Aftershock.
Second and goal from the Whales, 4-yard line.
We have the Sacramento, right? Sacramento Redwoods. I have a couple of California teams out there. Third and goal. I think you're one big Emmitt Smith handoff away. And they might just let this go into the fourth quarter, let Emmitt Smith catch a breather. Head into the fourth quarter. And
third and goal.
See how that one plays out. So, we will go into the fourth. Oklahoma City is hanging on. And they might be just waltzing right into the second round.
That's the end of the third quarter. The score is now the Whales 13. Your Bandits 28. Third and goal from the Whales, 1 yard.
Touchdown, Bandits. Well, it's going to have to be a big-time comeback if you're a Killer Whales fan. We know comebacks can happen in this league. I want to say the Killer Whales, too. Maybe in their Season 2 history. We'd have to check the stat book. You want to hear me play it again? Patreon.com/TBSports27. I believe there might have been another postseason comeback for the Killer Whales, but we're going to have to get at least 3 touchdowns and a 2-point conversion in 10 minutes here. Gulak and Kira Tozawa. The Persian Lion. What was that, like Giovanni? You know, Giovanni on Pokemon. He's got Persian. We got a Giovanni in NXT now. He takes a screenshot, points at the camera, takes a screenshot. Looks a lot like some fella from Italy, but I don't know. I think it's some new young rookie. All right, Huntington Beach. Do they have it in them? Warren Moon, he's been on the receiving end when he played the Bills in real life. And when he played the Fury in the virtual world, he's been on the losing end of some great playoff comebacks. Can he be on the winning end of one? And that's not going to help. I feel like a lot of the passes, too, for Warren Moon, they've been right on the money, but he's also been the victim of a couple of drops, which isn't helping him out at all. Well, I would think that they're going to have to go for it. I know there's still a lot of time. Game's telling us to punt it, but, I mean, 3-score game. And you got to start getting those touchdowns, so you can't really punt it, I wouldn't think, in this situation, especially with the way that the Bandits move the ball with ease. You gotta kind of go for it now. So here we go. Wide open caught by Jenkins. He's had a couple of nice plays in this one. They needed that. The Killer Whales have life.
This is what we're gonna.
First and 10. Ball at the 46-yard line.
Nice catch. Schaefer.
Gain of 17 on the play. First down, Wales.
They're not giving up yet. Boy, he's just looking for anything. He just kind of tosses that one short. It was pretty well covered. Moon maybe could have taken off, but you know, Warren Moon, not much of a scrambler.
Second and 10 from
Still a lot of time on the clock. Need 3 touchdowns. And again, well, he's just going to dump it off to Sanders. Again, very well covered by the Bandits. I don't think you can settle for a field goal either. You got to get all 3 touchdowns if you're the Killer Whales. It's do or die time right now. It's a first down. Taylor stays on his feet. First catch of the game for Taylor and first and goal for the Killer Whales. Brian Taylor. They needed that. Warren Moon right now. I don't know what team he ended up on in the RXFL. Is even a starter. Moon, he's going to try to run it, and Moon doesn't quite have the speed. Taken down. They're at the 5.
Bust him in the mouth, D. This is where we stop. Physical.
You hear the Bandits getting fired up. It's coming down to it in the R. Revolution Pro Football Season 5 postseason. Sanders is stuffed at 3rd and goal. Outclassed by Emmitt Smith. And here we go, a huge 3rd and goal. Incomplete. Rondé Barber. You got to go for a game saying kick a field goal. I don't think so. You got to go for it. You need touchdowns. 16's not going to do anything. So 4th and goal. Season on the line. Here we go. Did he get both feet down? Referee says yes. Touchdown, Killer Whales. Let's look at the replay. Boy, they're getting the ball in everyone's hands. Ooh, I don't know. Are we going to see a challenge? No challenge yet. I don't know if both feet got down. Look at this. Field goal is away. Let's see if we can take a look at this now. Hold on. Now that the field goal made it. Let's see. Did both feet hit the ground? Let's observe. Let's look. Okay, here we go. We can zoom out. We got the technology. So there officially is when the catch is made. He did not make it. They did not challenge that. Even if you consider 1 foot down here, which I don't believe the catch has been made. No, it hasn't. So that wouldn't even be it. But you can hear the ball. Let's see. 1 foot. No, he did not get that touchdown. No challenge. That's going to be a controversial one that you're going to look at the history of. And certainly, I mean, again, the game's saying kick it deep. You got 5 minutes. You got to overcome 2 scores. Onside kicking at this point. Boy, oh boy, the decision. We're going to have to talk to the head coach. The decision on that one to not challenge that was an interesting one. And we obviously had control of the killer whales at that point, so it's not like we can make the challenge. That would have been up to the computer to make that challenge, and it did not happen. My goodness. All right, well, good field position. Oh, look at that. They came right in. You know they're going to be running the ball with Emmitt Smith. So I would expect the line to be pretty stacked.
Second and 13.
Now, it's only a 2-score game here. So the Bandits got to be careful not to get too conservative here. Bounce into the outside, and there goes Emmitt Smith. Well, they had it. They had a stop. And then they let him go. And now all of a sudden, if nothing else, the Bandits right back in field goal range. So for Huntington Beach, it's going to be back to a 3-score game. Oklahoma City hangs on to win. They will take on Portland in the second round. The Iron Men, who have been one of the class creators, and the 2 expansion teams coming up with the top seeds, Portland and Atlantic City. Second and 2. It's getting increasingly more difficult. And for the Bandits, they just got to keep running the ball. I mean, it's that simple. And another first down and touchdown. That should just about do it. Unless 3 touchdowns in 3 minutes happen, which I guess I kind of technically just saw that with Peyton Manning and the Colts. But they're hyped up right now in Oklahoma City. Hoping to get to the championship once again, back-to-back years, knowing that they have the peace of mind. It's up in the air right now. It's going to happen to Huntington Beach. The fans know that, yes, a rebranding has happened, will happen, but this team will live on. Thanks to the owners. They will stay in Oklahoma City. So this team will have a future. The future kind of in the dark right now for Huntington Beach. What happens to them? Where do they end up? What can Huntington Beach do here? 3 minutes to go. Yeah, not a lot of time. If this indeed does come to an end, like we said, what a team, the class of the league. And they'll go down unless Ann Arbor wins the championship. And there it is. That might steal it. There's your first turnover of the game. Oh, it's a fumble! And it goes back to the Killer Whales. Can you believe that? We haven't had a turnover all day. We have 2 right there. Can you believe that? Wow. We were just talking about the Killer Whales. They're going to go down as the first and possibly only 2-time league champions. Winning the championship in impressive fashion. Knowing they went to the playoffs all 5 years. I mean, you look at the Firebirds. They missed the playoffs every year. 0 for 5. The Killer Whales went to the playoffs every single year. Warren Moon and Barry Sanders coming together. They were a staple of this team for a long time. And it definitely looks like they're going to go out with a sputter.
Okay, people, good.
The signature neon green the aqua blue, a look that hadn't been seen before. Kind of unique to this Killer Whales team. And a great legacy that they'll leave behind. Warren Moon's going to end up getting sacked, so what's going to end up happening, we kind of want to go through the history of these teams as they fall and end up getting eliminated. The Killer Whales, you know, Huntington Beach, while, you know, it was a popular touristy destination, they weren't quite able to get the attendance despite their success. And the management, they decided to kind of hang up, they had their joy, they had their fun with the Killer Whales, but they want to get into the tourist industry. And that time, rightfully, that one is going to be detected as an out of bounds, and that may very well be the final offensive play for the Killer Whales of Huntington Beach as you see the backups coming out onto the field. So what's going to happen is the team is going to go for sale. The Killer Whales team, while yes, we would love to bring it back, it is going to go up for sale. And we know there's a lot of California teams out there. There's the San Francisco Demons. There's the LA Kiss. There's the San Diego Aftershock. There's the Sacramento Redwoods. What's going to end up happening is the team you guys all saw. This team is going to continue on, but it's not going to be as the Huntington Beach, but they are going to get bought out by some very rich investors. And it is going to be the guys that you all know. It is indeed Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley. They are going to purchase the Huntington Beach Killer Whales from the Tourist Board, and they are going to turn them into the LA Kiss. So they're going to represent the greater LA area, but they are also going to make the promise that the Killer Whales will continue to play games in Huntington Beach. So yes, they're going to be the LA Kiss. Yes, they're going to play games in Los Angeles, but they're going to play games in Huntington Beach because we know there's a pretty close distance. How between LA to Huntington Beach. So the iconic, you know, green and neon. That's and it's gonna be the black and silver. It's only an hour and 15-minute drive between LA and Huntington Beach, so it only seemed fitting that Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley would purchase this team. And with the owners wanting to focus more on the tourism industry rather than the sports industry, the sale was made. Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons want to get back into the football world. So that is how the LA Kiss is going to be reborn. The black and silver, looking like the old the LA Raider colors. But a commitment that, yes, the LA Kiss is back, but it's going to be this team that's going to turn into them, and a commitment to play games in Huntington Beach, in Anaheim, in LA, to represent that greater LA area. So that is what happens in your future of the Huntington Beach Killer Whales. You're going to see a lot of these teams live on as we move on to the RXFL. So there you go. Huntington Beach, as we know, it is. We're going to see some more offensive snaps with some excitement there for the fans, but it'll be sad to put a rest to this a unique team. As we said, we named them kind of wanting to do like the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. I've always liked that Mighty Ducks name, so I always wanted some kind of a cool name. I had a hockey team in my old NHL game, the Arctic Foxes, which was kind of like that Mighty Ducks. So the Killer Whales came from that Mighty Ducks mindset. Killer Whales, Mighty Ducks, that double wording, the adjective describing the animal. Hey, we might just get one more touchdown out of this Killer Whales team. And then Huntington Beach being so close to Anaheim, it just seemed kind of cool. Like I just kind of like the name Huntington Beach, that beach name. You know, putting a team on the beach, and with them being close to Anaheim. And so the neon green. I would love that to be in Madden. I would love the ability of throwing an incomplete pass while you're getting sacked. The neon green, the electric blue will go away. The Killer Whale name will go away, of course, you know. Kiss, they're all about branding. Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley, but they put their money down. They will save the franchise. They will move them to LA, but a commitment to continue to play games in Huntington Beach and Anaheim. So this team will love on as the Kiss. All right, 3rd and 15 as we are winding down. It would be cool to get one more touchdown, wouldn't it, for the Killer Whales to go out that way. Under a minute to play, still got 1 timeout. Incomplete. Oh, man. And that unfortunately has been the story. A lot of drop passes in this game. Warren Moon, 323. It's going to be one of his better passing days. He does not pass for a lot of yards in Revolution Pro Football. He's usually down at the bottom for passing yards, but here he put a bunch up on the board. And it's kind of crazy. They only ended up with 2 touchdowns when it was all said and done. 20 points on the board. That was it. Third and 10 for the Killer Whales. Incomplete. So the Bandits will hit the road. And they are going to take on the Portland Ironmen in the next matchup, meaning the winner of the Birmingham Maulers and the Columbus Crusaders will take on the top-seeded, look at this, Barry Sanders. That only seems fitting. The 2 guys that have been a staple of the Killer Whales from day one, Warren Moon, Barry Sanders, to team up in what will be the final touchdown pass thrown in Killer Whales history. There it is. Kind of a somber moment, man. We spent a lot of time, a lot of years playing with this Killer Whales squad. And to know that it's all coming to an end tonight. This is going to be your final Killer Whales game. 2-point conversion. There you go. 28-45. Huntington Beach going to try to keep this thing going. We'll see. An obvious onside kick attempt here. It is fielded, and that will do it, ladies and gentlemen. They'll come on and take a couple of knees, and that is going to be your final. So the Huntington Beach Killer Whales now will officially move to Miami. They will go with their new owners, Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons. The LA Kiss will be back and in business. The Killer Whales will be no more. They will fall out of the postseason. And the 7th-seeded Oklahoma City Bandits will move on to take on the Portland Ironmen in Portland. And Columbus and Birmingham, the winner of that game, will move on to take on the Atlantic City Eclipse. So next time we stream with you, it'll be the Columbus Crusaders and the Birmingham Maulers. It'll be in Columbus, so it'll be Birmingham at Columbus in that battle. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to all the action. Brian, Zach, thank you guys for being along for the action as always. And it's a 45-28 victory for the Oklahoma City Bandits, as that will do it for the first wild card matchup. Bandits moving on, and they got a date with Portland in the next round. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of the day. Hey, guys, go watch Impact Wrestling Aces and